leg at a time guy, or you just hop in?
Oh no, absolutely. No. People think I'm weird. I will. I put my shoes on before I even get the pants up.
You're serious.
Oh no. It's one stop. So if you got your shoes there, you get you're sitting, right? You get the socks on, get the pants
You
on.
probably like leisure suits too.
Pants on, and then pants here. Why would I stand up just to sit back down to put the shoes on, Cameron? Put the shoes on now, then I'm standing up. I'm out.
That's exotic.
Hey, friends. Welcome back to another edition of All the Best Words. My name is Matt Murphy, and I say all the best words.
My name's Cameron Smith. I write all the best words.
Together, this is All the Best Words.
I know words. I have the best words.
This is All the Best Words with Matt Murphy and Cameron Smith.
I'm telling you, try it, and I think you'll like it.
The one-stop shop.
I'm never going back. I'm never going back.
Shoes on, pants on.
Yeah, it does get you looked at weird by the wife, but but that's neither here nor there. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've tried to do pants 2 legs at a time just to see if it could happen, and jumping in your own pants is really hard.
No, that's a toughie, but you can do it if you're sitting.
Yes, you
Once
can.
again, I'm just alternate ways to accomplish simple tasks. Our task here today is very simple. I present a word. Cameron presents a word. And we talk about those words as they are presented. I hear Cameron's words when you do, and Cameron hears my word when you do as well. And Cameron, I'm going to nominate myself to go first.
Sounds good.
Yep. My word is identification. Identification. So I got my real ID when I transferred my license from Alabama to Tennessee.
Sure.
I figured I needed to do that anyway. This is back in 2022. All of this stuff was already out there. It feels like it's been out there for 12 years, 14 years.
500 years, actually.
500 years, right. And so I just went ahead and brought the documentation. I brought my birth certificate, proof of I was actually living in a campground when I did this. And so I don't have a lot of sympathy for people because it literally says on my driver's license, Lot 85 in the Grand Old RV Resort Campground. So I managed to get a real ID in that circumstance. So I kind of picked on people a little bit over the last couple of weeks because for those that don't know, we're coming down to crunch time. And for those uninitiated, if you do not have a real ID and you do not have a passport, you will not be able to fly, according to the government, beyond, I think it's like May 7th or something like that.
And this is the deadline that's been extended again
over
and again.
Over and over
for years.
and over again. And I would expect that it's going to be extended again.
Right.
Because of some of the stories that we've heard right here in the state of Tennessee where we're broadcasting from, but they're probably happening all over the United States of America. And that is that, so I poo-pooed it. I'm like, come on, guys, get with the program. You should have done this 3 years ago, whatever. Not that big of a deal. Apparently for women, it's a much bigger deal, particularly for women who have been divorced. Because what I'm hearing is that they are being required to bring marriage licenses and divorce decrees. I had a woman call me on my radio show who told me that she was told she had to show the arc of her name.
Like the story of your name changes.
And she's been divorced 4 times. And she's like, wow, I burned all that crap, Matt. I didn't need it anymore, didn't want it anymore, didn't want it a part of my life. And so apparently for some folks, it's a much more difficult task than others. And it's a difficult job even getting 2 individuals who are involved in, documentation and real ID to tell you the same story about exactly what they need. It's almost like the federal government's in charge.
Yes, this has been a train wreck since its inception. I love the idea of we want to have a secure standard for identification. It's at this point, we could have literally just everybody as they renew their license naturally gotten the new real IDs. We didn't do that. And so the idea of a high stakes deadline where folks who just got their license a few weeks ago are now going to have to go produce more paperwork, stand in the DMV. It's 2025. The fact that we still have DMVs and we can't figure this out in a extremely efficient manner goes to the point of government inefficiency. I mean, this is everywhere. DOGE is trying to deal with it on the federal government level, but on the state level too. All states have outdated systems, and it's just money and time to replace them. And then people look at it and say, well, it's more hassle to replace it than just deal with bad technology. And here we are, where we've got another federal program that we've delayed and delayed and delayed. At some point, it's going to be so delayed that it won't even be current. And we'll need a new protocol.
Well, I mean, you bring up a couple of good points. One, why in the world did they not simply require at a certain point anyone renewing their ID? Just pick a time period. In Tennessee, it's 8 years, and I was pleasantly surprised when I came here that you do not have to renew every 4 years because it's not a money gouge for the state of Tennessee, right? So you renew every 8 years. Well, whatever it is in these individual states, just start it. If you had started the clock, when did I want to say that this legislation was passed in like 05, 06?
Right. I was working on Capitol Hill when it was enacted.
I mean, that's insane.
Right.
That was a long time ago. You're an old man now.
Yes.
And we still haven't gotten this done. So why would you not say, hey, all you states, just the next time that people renew their license within this window, they have to get the Star ID. And, they don't have an option anymore. But we didn't do that. So now people were coming and they don't have a particular piece of information. They go, well, just go ahead and give me the regular ID. Right. And they're putting it off.
You should just be able to get real ID. That makes a lot of sense. It's how we should do it. Yet here we are. We're not sure how to handle all this. And they should also do basic, simple things. If you've gone through the process to get a passport and you bring that passport to the DMV, they should just copy the information. Right.
Right. And by the way, passport locations are, according to my sources, at least in our state, backed up until August as a result of this, because people are trying to defer to passports because they can't get the real ID. Like I say, it's almost as if the DMV's involved. Sad. So that is my word, identification. Cameron Smith, your word, sir.
Speaking of government processes I hate, my word is 40%. This is the reduction in force that the administration has just announced on tax day, April 15th, for cuts at the Internal Revenue Service. So if you were one of those late filers that decided to get it in on the 15th, or like those of us in the state of Tennessee have till November 3rd to get it in, the workforce that's going to be at the IRS is going to decrease by 40% starting now. Am I crying a river? No. I love the idea that the Trump administration is trying to rein in the bureaucracy. My question is, at what point do you rein it in so much that it creates headaches for basic constituent services, for things that we have to do? We have to file our taxes, whether we like it or not. Sometimes we have questions about those things. Taxes are the bane of my existence because most people are trying to guess, trying to figure out, well, is this something I can deduct? Is it not something I can deduct? And so frequently the IRS's guidance is vague at best, and maybe you need to call somebody. Maybe you filed and you've got other questions. The fact that we have an extremely painful, convoluted, ridiculous process, and now we're going to chop significantly the number of people that could help you navigate that. I like the idea of reining in the bureaucracy, but can we rein in the tax code too?
I don't know. I can see certain departments that DOJ would go after that would get a pretty strong backlash on the part of the American public. You could easily vilify cuts to the Social Security Administration in terms of staffing.
Park Service.
Park Service, sure. Those types of things. Veterans Affairs services, absolutely. You're going to get a pushback. I don't know that you're going to get a large portion of the American people upset, angry, pitchforks and whatnot about cutting to the IRS.
No, absolutely not.
Right? So I also don't know how they could become more inefficient, Cameron.
No.
I mean, right? So my wife worked for a CPA firm for a number of years, and they had, to a certain degree, CPAs and whatnot, tax preparers they know who to call. They know
Right.
who to communicate with in terms of the IRS, and they have a little bit of a backdoor service to the IRS, and they themselves, the CPAs, would regularly express extreme frustration because they would call, one guy calls and gets an answer about a question, another guy calls and gets a completely different answer about the same question, right? So I don't know if necessarily the cuts are designed to just to force better work product, better work processes. Maybe that's the case. Maybe we just need to go to a flat tax or even a fair tax and kind of eliminate all of this.
At this point, I would take anything. I mean, the Trump administration is going through these cuts, but they need to be backstopped by a Congress that's saying, oh, yeah, we're going to simplify the tax code too. Like, this makes a lot of sense. We're going to reduce the number of agents, and we're going to make it easier on you to do this. We already have in the tax code stuff like an alternative minimum tax, where that alternative tax where you have to calculate parallel taxes is actually a simpler, easier system you could just use and change the rates a little bit. Like, there's a lot of options that we have here, but the Trump administration is doing what it can with what it has to work with, and Congress is basically watching. And it's really concerning for me.
Was some of this in response to the suggestion by the Biden administration that they're going to hire 85,000 more IRS employees, and some of those IRS employees were going to have guns, and people were like, why does an IRS employee need to have guns necessarily? And, oh, these guys are going to be involved in audits. I think it's probably going to be perceived as a taxpayer-friendly situation. But what's going to happen, as you've described it, and I would agree with it, is that you're going to see a more inefficient IRS because the government just is designed. I mean, that's just the way
this is how bad it is, Matt. A couple years ago, I was filing my taxes, and because I've worked on the tax code, I'm an attorney, I'm like, I really want to use the free forms. And the forms, you do them digitally, and they have a little button. It says, do the math. So I clicked, do the math.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to help me as a taxpayer get it right. It got it wrong. The IRS's do the math function was
did the
broken,
math wrong.
and it did the math wrong, and it wouldn't let me change it. So I had to file my taxes with wrong math, contract the IRS and say the math's wrong, and amend my filing because that's what we're dealing with. So, yeah, 40%, that sounds about right.
All I know is that I sent my $347 into the federal government, and I was happy to do it. I love it when I get it that close. You know what I'm saying?
I did not.
They do not get to use my money for free. But you don't want to have to cut that big check. Well, that does it for us. Are those all the best words?
They're all the best words, Matt.
Those are all the best words. You need to like and subscribe. Give us the thumbs up, and we'll see you next time on All the Best Words.